Been a week since our people left these gates. A week since the Iron Flail took them. Yet we wait here behind our sturdy new walls, hiding in our rebuilt homes. We've done nothing.
Who are you to tell us how to defend our own? You ain't been here 2 months!
Hey, an angry mob. See? We're not so far from home.
And since I got here, I've been working alongside the rest of you. Don't start with that again.
Well, it was your idea to send our people to that damned fort in the first place. If it weren't for you and the other leeches that come up with you, we wouldn't be in this mess.
Then you know about the Iron Flail. You'll stop them?
Showed up a few weeks after you opened the battery. Demanded we give him the White Forge. They're led by Adarik Sendamir. Comes from an old Rayed Saren family. The rumor has it the man's half mad with visions. Claims one drove him here to take the White Forge.
They're not the only bloodsuckers around here.
Our crew at the battery locked their doors and told the Iron Flail to go back to Rayed Saris. Instead, they built a fort in the middle of the wood. So we sent a committee to reason with them. But that was a week ago. We haven't seen our people since. That can only mean one thing.
We're just miners and fisher folk.
Send Darian and the rest of the newcomers. Let them earn their keep.
We've cleared your roads and repaired this town. What more do we have to prove?
Please, everyone. Whatever our difference is, we've got to deal with the army at our gates. You may be the only person around here who's more unpopular than I am. But if anyone could get into that fort and deal with an army, it's you. The Iron Flail cleared a patch of forest north of Durgan's battery, built their fort there. It'll be well guarded, so if you can get in without raising an alarm, you may have an easier time of it. The important thing is to deal with the commander. If you can get rid of him, the rest of the soldiers will scatter. What exactly did you see? Then let's just hope there's still time to prevent it. Anyway, we've got our work cut out for us here. While you're out, stop by the battery. Wangra and her team are still repairing the heavy cannons, but they've made a lot of progress elsewhere. Thought you might like to see how far it's come. Haven't been here long, but I'll tell you what I can. Work. I was a cobbler in New Yarma, but the city got more crowded every year. Rural types fleeing the legacy. A couple months ago, I heard Stalwart was offering land and opportunity to new settlers, so figured I'd give it a go out here. For a while, folks seemed glad to have some new blood, but that changed as more and more of us came. They heard about the White Forge and came running, just like a lot of us did. Only difference is, they brought siege weapons. As best anyone can tell, they're from the border region near Little Bend, one of the poorest parts of the country. For Rayed Saris, well, that's saying something. Before you opened Durgan's battery, people tell me Stalwart barely had enough warm bodies to keep the town running. A bunch of us came when we heard about the White Forge, but now, I think the old-timers would just as soon send us back. We take the best jobs, we don't pay our respects to Andra, we're overcrowding the town. I get it. Stalwart's changing. Same thing happened in New Yarma when folk moved in from the countryside. But they can't keep blaming us for everything that goes wrong out here. I'm just hoping they'll calm down once the Iron Flail is gone.
Say, I don't suppose you've seen any mysterious old buildings in the mountains lately, have you? Wait, Aren't you the one who opened the gates? Much as folk here talk about it, you're probably good for a free drink at the inn. I'm looking for the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. It's an obscure temple dedicated to Andra. I'm a gift bearer. My job is to gather tokens of things people want forgotten and surrender them to the Lady of Lament. Best place to do that is the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. Anything that represents a moment or a memory someone wishes to leave behind. Well, love notes, awkward family heirlooms, bad poetry, the kinds of things you want to forget. I might be here a while. Half the villagers have never heard of the Abbey, and the ones that have, no one knows where it is. So I'm trying to think of this as an extended holiday in a remote mining village that smells like fish. You won't regret it. I've got a lovely singing voice. And the company's welcome.
I think we found Haravius' mom.
Ha! Took you for one of them Rayid Sarens. Then I saw you had all your teeth. Ha ha ha! Hang on, gotta talk into my good ear. Now what was... Say, ain't I seen you somewhere? That's it! Felt those aftershocks all the way in Stalwart! Must have been a real sight up close. All that fire. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know, clearing tunnels, blowing old barricades, just tidying up. But soon, I've got to start testing the cannons. We held them off a few weeks ago, but they didn't run far. Set up a fort in the woods, and I hear they're working on some really fantastic siege weapons. I don't know. Something tore through that place a long time ago. Anyway, we can stop them. Once we have the heavy cannons, that is. They're all the way up there. I sent a crew to the tower, but they came back complaining about Skuldrak and the other nasties. Nearly took Kolmar's leg off. Skuldrak did, I mean. That'd be a big help. I'd hate to let those beauties go to rust up there. And anything you find up there is yours. Battery's full of treasures, and the West Tower has hardly been explored. Head through the door and up the stairs. That'll get you to that rampart. Yeah, Kulmar cleared the rubble before he took to getting himself conveniently injured. You should be able to work your way up to the cannons from there. Meantime, I'll check on our black powder stock. was incredible! Whole forge spit flames when you did whatever you did. And the smoke! Ha! I saw it from here. And now to see about these cannons. This is for you. Found it while we were cleaning out the battery. If only I could show you. But everyone else is all worried about accidents and injuries. So they've said I can't fire them until there's a real need. They came out here a few weeks back and asked us to vacate the forge, real nice-like. When we told them to turn around or we'd do them like we did their fellow Widewin, things got rough. They went to their fort, but they'll be back for sure. Darien sent a group from Stalwart to parley, but they never made it back. So it's a good thing you got these guns working. We'll be ready for those raid Sarens when they come for us. I'm taking care of these lovelies so they can take care of us. Well, back in Stalwart, I learned everything Tana knew about black powder, and a few things she didn't. Them she wasn't so happy about. After what might have been a small mishap in the Stalwart mines, they sent me here to put my talents to better use. I'm headed up the tower, gonna make those cannons shine!
Steady, men. Our guest has arrived. All that chaos outside. For an instant, I believed you, woman. But he's only a common assassin. I'm sure you would, now that you're here. You want to talk? Set down your...
You sure he's not just a weirdo with an empty stare? I get those confused a lot.
That's not known to many. Not past these walls. Why have you come? Why now? You've come all this way to indulge your curiosity? It's hardly something to be proud of. Look to your own sins, Watcher. I'll not share mine. I wouldn't know. Perhaps we simply worsen each other's condition. What? What is it? That wouldn't bode well for you, would it? I've a firm grip on my senses, whatever you believe. The Watcher's curse is many things, but if it promised madness, I would not have taken command of the Iron Flail. The memories I saw, some of them couldn't have belonged to you. You're awakened, aren't you? No, of course not. It seems a terrible thing to be awakened and a Watcher both. I'm sorry. Yes, we were in the middle of something, I believe. Stalwart sent delegates to discuss terms of peace. I offered them the opportunity. I was generous. But Stalwart sent soothsayers, not diplomats, to frighten us with stories of the moon going dark, the earth shaking.
I would speak to the people who have seen these wild visions to compare notes.
It's true! It's all true! The waves will swallow us all!
Don't play the fool with me. These omens are meant to frighten me, to make me doubt my purpose here. But there is more at stake here than a village in the mountains. They dismiss my faith, call us superstitious. But what does Stalwart believe in? Iron and gold, and nothing else. I have tilled barren fields with my bare hands. What is gold to me? With a village of fishermen, nothing. But they cling fiercely to the forge you gave them. Some of the men are here for gold and good steel, and I promised them their share. But I came for cannons. With the battery's cannons, we can hold the pass. Rayed Saris has suffered enough. Its sons and daughters have nothing. We won't survive an attack from the Deerwood when it comes. Not unless we act. There is an army coming. I've seen it. Pouring down from the mountain. It will crush Stalwart and come for Rayed Saris. The Iron Flail will be the wall that safeguards my homeland from the worst these fire worshippers can bring to bear. So I believed. Hoped, maybe. But that only means they're angry. They'll look for someone to blame, an enemy to fight. I've seen it. Like a memory plucked from the dead. But this was a warning from the gods. I can't sit back and do nothing. I warn you, if you think to taunt me, Watcher. Why would they turn on their own? No, you're trying to trick me. This is all another distraction. Why should I believe any of this? You would say anything at all to protect Stalwart. That you're soft-hearted, but it hasn't seemed to stop you. And that you have seen and done a great many things. Things I would not have otherwise believed. I led my people here because I believed we were on the right path. I bound my soul to this blade as proof of my surety. The sword's no good to me now. It's yours, for as long as you can wield it. I'll call in our forces from the mountains. Please, give me time to explain. You should speak with Stalwart's messengers. Perhaps you'll get some answers out of them.
Drive the raid Saries from these mountains, and you may yet spare many lives. The Tidebringer will be here in a week's time. Should you be delayed in your travels, report to him as you would to me. He will enter the reliquary and call off the army of Eyeless in my stead. If you are caught, sister, you know what you must do. I will pray for your return, but we will take comfort in the knowledge that you have joined the rest of Andra's favorite in her keeping.
I guess we should be flattered that someone sent those things after us, but I would have preferred a card. I'd heard rumors of the eyeless, but I always thought that name was a metaphor. Though I would have called them Mace Hands of Doom, if anyone had asked me. Ah, you wound me. So this is the mysterious army you've been dreaming about, huh? It's a wonder you're getting any sleep. I'm regretting all of my decision-making up to this point. Still, I guess a suicidal plan is better than none. Yeah, there's something I haven't told you. Well, I don't normally talk about this, but you mentioned your awakening. I guess I've had a similar problem. There's something I remember from a former life. Happened hundreds of years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Happened while I was fighting in Old Valia 20 years ago. My unit was camped out in the palace we'd just taken. The others were roasting the last of the Marchesos pigs in the feast hall. So I went to the wine cellars to fetch a few bottles. I don't know how long she'd been hiding there, but there was this old woman. Must have been one of the servants. She had this wild look in her eyes. I approached her and tried to tell her not to be afraid, that she was safe. She screamed and grabbed my arm. It felt like someone had hit me in the back of my head. I blacked out for a few minutes, and when I came to, she was gone. I took a few bottles up with me, feasted with the rest of the troops. But when I went to bunk, I had a dream. Only it was more vivid than any dream I've ever had. I tasted the sweat on my lips, felt the jungle air on my skin, heard the cries. Like when you hear a song you know you've heard before. Anyway, I laid off the drink for several days, but I kept having the dream. After a few weeks, I thought a change of scenery might do me good. Since then, I've been a pirate in the Deadfire, a pilgrim in the White That Wends, an adventurer in the Living Lands, and a gift-bearer in Ashamadal. It was a war, centuries ago before Adiran unification. I was a soldier then, led a campaign across the northern forests to subdue some of the outlying Kulklan villages. Brutal work. This was 500 years ago, when Adir was a folk kingdom on one side and elven country on the other. They fought on and off before they joined. Now the folk and elven rulers marry to keep the peace. Right, the campaign. Lost a third of my forces to the forest, and another third to the elven scouts hiding in it. By the time we reached the first village, we'd crushed their defenses, and they'd bled us. Wasn't much more than children and the elderly left, but they spit on us when we marched into town. The village elders surrendered and offered us lodging in the old meeting hall. And when the sun set, they tried to burn it down around us. They barely got a flame going, but that wasn't the point. In their defiance, I saw months more of pointless, bloody battle as we fought for the rest of the region. I had to break them. And I had to send a message to the rest of the villages. So I nailed every last one of them to the trees around the town and left them there to die. Don't I know it? I told you I was looking for the Abbey of the Fallen Moon so I could leave something behind. There's a pool there, the Salt Well. It's where gift-bearers leave the heaviest burdens. It's said that a person can enter it and leave their own memories behind. Anyway, we should get going. Something I've been saving for better days.
Those things, they came from all sides. The delegate... No, you were right. The visions are true. You fought well. And I am glad to see you have come through in one piece, even if I regret the loss of my men. I'll take what's left of our forces. Those that will follow me further up the mountain. We should be prepared when those monsters return. I have seen already that there is little you can't accomplish.
Ah, good. The Conclave has elected a Tidebringer after all. I had begun to worry. And they took my advice in providing you an escort. Very good. I am sorry I could not make your journey easier. I am Kauto, the High Abbot. And just in time. The May Queen's tide is nearly past its peak. Much longer, and we'd have had to wait another year. The rules of the Rising are quite clear on that, unfortunately. When you are ready, we will begin with the recitation. Yes, of course. I would not pass my station to you without passing that knowledge as well. It is the Abbey's most sacred chamber. When the Rising is complete, I will take you there myself. In fact, the ritual demands it. You seem nervous. The Conclave chose you for a reason. For a devout follower of Ondra, the answers will flow naturally to you. I remember my own Rising. The Conclave sent me on the same exhausting journey. When it came time for the recitation, I could not remember a word. But it all came back in time. Our goddess smiles upon the forgetful. Our library is open to you, as are the grounds outside. There is a beautiful mural out there that you should see, if you haven't yet. And you may, of course, speak with the gift-bearers here, if it helps your recollection. Take your time, and examine these things before your recitation. I know you will not disappoint when the time comes. I was elected by the Conclave, as you were, but you already knew that much. It was unexpected. There were others more accomplished. I was merely a scholar. But they each had their faiths called into question, and no one could find cause to doubt mine. It was such an honor to become one of Ondra's most trusted servants. It was hardly a choice at all.
It's here. The salt well. You know, I thought it'd be bigger. You know how when you've been thinking about something so long, you're worried that when you finally get it, it won't be what you expected? I mean, for all we know, that thing's just filled with leeches. Don't remind me. Good. Anything's better than this. Maybe not. But it's worth a try. Okay, here goes. Oh, that's cold! Oh, very funny. This is the right pool, isn't it? Yeah, just promise me we'll get a warm drink when... I've got it! Took this from the Marcheso cellar the night I awakened. Been saving it for a special occasion.
Stand back!
We gotta go in after her!
I remember running, but I don't remember what chased me. And I remember fear, but I don't remember what scared me. I gave something up, but I don't remember why. Me neither. But it feels like an improvement.